Hi, I'm Sue Scott. I'm from the Morningside Knitwits group, also known as the Mocking Girls, because mockingbirds, Morningside, it all works together. Earlier this year, we were challenged by 67 Blankets to produce a themed blanket using the themes tolerance, love, and peace. And each group had to come out with a blanket. I thought about it and thought it would be nice to have a Scrabble board type effect, hence the tolerance and the love are all interlinked as you would have on Scrabble. And then we decided to make it into a South African flag as well, because love and tolerance and peace is actually something that we all would really like in this country of ours. So then came the design of the blanket, and with the blanket design we then decided on various, what do you want to call them, icons that would fit in with the three words. So obviously the easy one is hearts, stood for love, the peace sign was for the peace, and then tolerance was a difficult one. So we decided on people holding hands together, because that is tolerating one another. And all of these people are different. So we have brown people, we have white people, we have black people, we have all sorts of people here. We have boys with boys and girls with girls and boys with girls. It's a woke, racially friendly blanket, and it's been a lot of fun designing it. We've all learned a tremendous deal, from learning how to do intarsia work, which is the peace sign and the doves and the people, to having to learn how to sew it all up, keep the same tension, make the same size squares. It's been a lot of fun, it's been very exciting, and we've all grown enormously in skills and in our friendship in doing it. And I do believe that through tolerance of one another, you get love. And when you have love and tolerance, you get peace. And that is all important. Blankets that have been made in the month of March and submitted and handed in today by the various ladies. These here are both crochet blankets. I love the use of the colors. They're bright, they're pretty, they're soft as well as being pretty. This is a knitted blanket, using knitted squares, putting it together. There's another crocheted blanket with a really brilliant sense of colors that I would never dream of putting together, but it has impact. It stands out. More crochet blankets, another knitted blanket put together and sewn up, and the rest on the side here are all crocheted. A lot of these have been done with leftover bits and pieces that we've had from various projects, which goes to show you can use absolutely all your wool. If we go on further with all the blankets, are we carrying on with the blankets? We have blankets over here. This blanket in particular uses leftover yarn. It's a V-stitch. It's very simple, but it's a very effective blanket. All these here that are rest are crocheted blankets. Obviously in our group we have more crocheters than knitters. Knitting does take longer than crocheting. Crocheting is far faster, but knitting doesn't use as much wool as crocheting does. Crocheting uses a lot of wool to produce a blanket, whereas knitting doesn't. The use of colors here, again, they're bright, they stand out. It should bring some person some form of joy and sort of just feel the love and feel the warmth in these blankets. Yeah, the ladies you can see are all very busy, all doing various things, crocheting together knitted squares, knitting squares. There's another knitter over there. The rest, all the other ladies are busy crocheting and starting on new projects and finishing off older projects.
Do we have a comment on this? You would join us.
Yeah.
shell, flower, and...
Okay, so we did the waffle
was a repeat pattern. So the waffle was there. No, it's got nothing to do with anything. I just felt that
All these ladies, the majority of them have been strangers to me. They've come and joined a group and we've become a great group of friends. Some of them were old friends. The majority of us are teachers, which is an interesting way of looking at it. It must be something to do with teaching that produces people who sit and crochet and knit. It must be something to do with sitting through our staff meetings and they're boring. So one had to do something to keep oneself awake or you'd fall asleep. Yes, definitely. Much better than staff meetings, I agree with you. So Harshda here not only does blankets, but she also does the most beautiful beanies, which we also use for various blankets. As you can see here, we are busy stabilizing a knitted square so it becomes firm with crochet work, so it can be put together into a blanket and it's not too floppy. And then over here we have all the various wools we're using. The majority of the wool that we use is a charity wool. It's a double knit. It's a very robust wool. I feel it can be washed in any form of process, scrubbed in a river, scrubbed in a bucket, put in a washing machine. It washes well. And basically the crochet patterns that you see here are all sturdy patterns. There's nothing here that's too lacy, because a sturdy pattern will wash well and keep well and last longer. If it was very lacy, it would break and the blanket would fall apart. So if you look at these are all fairly sturdy blankets. It's what you sort of think about when you decide to make a blanket. Then here we have wool that we are making baby blankets with at the moment. It's a new wool that's come from Turkey. It's the same price as the charity wool, which makes it financially reasonable. And we are making baby blankets with these in order to learn yet another skill and something completely different. And then over here we have the rest of our wools in various colors. There are the beanies I was talking about. Here again are squares that have been put together and stabilized. These squares were made by children who were learning to knit. So that's why they're so small, and we're busy putting them together into one big blanket. The only wool I don't have here is the Kismet yarn, because at the moment I can't find any Kismet yarn that is in stock and that I particularly like. But we normally use a mixture of Kismet and charity wool. Or what our knitters produced. The knitters produced this because obviously they can't crochet, and they also had to learn incredible skills in order to knit like this, because most of them had only done very simple knitting, and they had to learn to knit symbols and words into their squares, and they actually managed to do 2 big blankets, which I think is absolutely fantastic. These were done with Barbie at the helm, steering the rudder, and she designed the blankets, did all the patterns for them, and showed people how to do them. It also, like the crochet blanket, caused blood, sweat and tears, but a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, a lot of excitement and camaraderie as the blankets developed. So here we have, as I said, the 2 very beautiful blankets in the peace and the love and tolerance theme. And just to end up, at the moment we are sitting on 218 blankets and still counting, which I think in a year is a remarkable achievement. And it's hats off to these fabulous, passionate, energetic women behind behind you over there who just get on with it and are so willing to sit and crochet and knit day in and day out. I think it's fabulous.